Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're going to completely rewire how you think about generating wealth. We are stepping way back from the idea that getting ahead is just some random stroke of luck, and instead we're going to look at it as a structured, totally learnable skill. So, get ready for a pretty dramatic mindset shift because this is going to change how you look at the world around you.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Imagine you're facing this crazy, high-stakes challenge right now. You need to make 80,000 rupees in the next 30 days. Oh, and you're starting from absolutely zero. No job, you can't take out a loan, you're just sitting at home. Now, most people would immediately throw their hands up and say, no way, that's impossible. But what if the exact roadmap to doing this was written almost a century ago?
Well, to understand this, we actually have to go back to the 1930s, the Great Depression. This was a time of literal zero money, a time when people literally could not even afford food. Yet, right in the middle of this absolute economic devastation, an author named F.C. Miniker wrote a book titled 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000. Miniker proposed something super radical for the time. Making money is not a game of chance, it's a specific skill. And hey, if these principles worked when the world's economy was in ruins, you better believe they work today.
So, to master this, we're going to hit 6 key techniques today: finding problems, validating ideas, selling expertise, leveraging repeat business, starting small, and creating value. Let's get to it. Technique number 1, find problems. Or, as I like to think of it, where there is pain, there is money. Here's the absolute fundamental rule of business. You have to identify a problem someone is actually willing to pay to fix. It sounds incredibly simple, right? But our default human behavior constantly gets in the way. Just notice how these two mindsets contrast. When an amateur sees a problem, they complain. Think about the elderly folks in your neighborhood struggling to use smartphones. The wrong approach is getting annoyed and thinking, why don't they just learn? But the entrepreneurial mindset, it sees an opportunity. The right approach is saying, hey, I can solve this for a fee. You could spend, say, 2 hours a week teaching them how to use WhatsApp video calls, UPI, or even basic AI, and charge a recurring 500 rupees a month. 10 houses later, you're making 5,000 rupees with zero investment. Now, if you think that's just some tiny, small-scale example, let's look at a real piece of history. In 2005, a guy named Phanindra Sama was incredibly frustrated because he couldn't get a bus ticket to go home for Diwali. A massive pain point for him. But instead of just complaining about how disorganized the offline bus system was, he turned that exact frustration into an idea. By 2006, he founded Redbus with a starting capital of just 5 lakh rupees. He saw what people desperately needed that nobody else was providing. Fast forward to 2013, and this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of finding the right problem. Redbus was sold to the IBIBO Group for a staggering 800 crore rupees. This massive exit proves a huge point. You don't need to invent a flying car. You really just need to solve a real, everyday frustration. All right, moving on to technique 2, validate ideas. The motto here is sell first, build later. I know, this goes against literally every instinct we have. The most dangerous trap you can fall into is locking yourself in a room for 6 months to build a product, only to launch it and realize nobody wants to buy it. You lose time, energy, and a ton of money. Let's look at this micro case study. An amateur wants to start a home tiffin service. So what do? They buy all the equipment, build out a massive kitchen, try to sell, and completely fail. The professional does the exact opposite. Before buying a single pan, they text 10 friends or neighbors, hey, if I deliver fresh, home-cooked food daily for 100 rupees, will you buy it? If 5 people say yes and actually commit, then you build a kitchen. You get that upfront commitment first. Miniker figured this out way back in the 1930s, and it's the exact same logic driving multi-billion-dollar tech startups today. Which brings us to technique 3, sell expertise, not time. This is all about breaking your earning ceiling. See, when you work a standard job, you're just trading hours for dollars. And last time I checked, the clock only has 24 hours. Your income is strictly capped by time, so you have to decouple the two. Let's break this down really quick. Take a chartered accountant. If they sell their time working full-time for one boss, they might make 50,000 rupees a month. But if they sell their expertise, they can offer part-time consulting to 5 different small businesses at 10,000 rupees each. The total is the exact same 50,000 rupees, but they aren't bound by a full-time 40-hour-a-week slog. They have total freedom because they're getting paid for what they know, not the hours they sit staring at a desk. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, but I don't have any expertise to sell. Actually, yes, you do.
The absolutely crucial point here is recognizing the hidden skills you already possess. Like, do you know how to master complex Excel spreadsheets? Can you design cool graphics in Canva? Do you know how to paste and edit Instagram reels? Are you good at C++ programming? Or maybe you can generate amazing AI images or videos. Stuff that feels easy and obvious to you is absolute magic to someone else. There are people out there literally desperate to pay for what you already know how to do. You just got to package it and sell it. Okay, technique number 4, repeat business. We're talking about the magic of retention. This is arguably the single most underrated technique out there. Everyone is so obsessed with chasing that shiny new customer, they completely ignore the gold mine sitting right in front of them. According to the source data, finding a brand new customer takes 5 times the energy, effort, and cost as selling to someone who has already bought from you. Your existing customer is for sure your easiest next customer. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, bad service is a painter who paints your house, takes your money, and you never hear from them again. Good service, smart service, is that same painter calling you up 6 months later, right after monsoon season, just to check if there's any wall dampness that needs touching up. That is exactly how you secure repeat business. Or think of a barber. A barber doesn't need to market to thousands of people. They really just need 50 regular customers who love their work and come back every single month for a totally stable, reliable income.
Technique number 5, start small, think big. Never underestimate the power of the first step.
You know, a huge trap that prevents people from ever getting off the starting line is overplanning. They think they need a fancy office, a massive staff, and huge investment money right on day one. But honestly, that's just a recipe for paralysis. The biggest businesses are built on small ideas backed by a big vision. Just look at the journey of this highly successful home baker. Step 1, she didn't open a massive factory. She just baked a single chocolate cake. Step 2, she fulfilled a few small orders for friends. Step 3, she started a super simple Instagram page. Step 4, she opened a small bakery. And finally, step 5, she scaled up to massive corporate orders, eventually earning over 1 lakh rupees a month. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Just remember, even McDonald's started as a humble, small roadside burger stall before they scaled to over 100 countries.
And finally, technique number 6, create value. This is the most dangerous technique of them all.
Creating value completely flips the script. Look, people who desperately chase money, they usually stay broke. But money automatically follows those who make life easier, better, or more comfortable for others. Let's contrast an average freelancer with a truly valued professional. An average video editor takes instructions, edits the video exactly as told, delivers the file, and clocks out. Honestly, they're easily replaceable. But a highly valued editor, they edit the video, sure, but they also say, hey, I noticed this part kind of drags, so I tightened the 15-second pacing to retain your viewers, and I mocked up 2 better thumbnail concepts to boost your click-through rate. I mean, who is going to get paid more? The second one, because they aren't just providing a basic service, they are providing real strategic value. When you consistently add genuine value to someone's life or business, you literally never have to beg for your price again. As we bring all these puzzle pieces together, I really want you to internalize this profound quote from the source material. Money shortage is not a lack of ideas, it is a lack of action. You now have the blueprint. You know how to spot problems, how to validate them without spending money, how to sell your hidden skills, how to retain customers, how to start small, and how to create undeniable value. Waiting around for the perfect time to start is just a comfortable excuse that keeps you broke. The perfect time simply does not exist. So I'm going to leave you with one final urgent question to chew on. What problem will you solve today? Seriously, don't wait for tomorrow. Pick one small frustration in the world around you, validate a quick solution, and take your very first step right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.